While addressing students, viewers, at a college in Chennai today, Rahul Gandhi once again dared the Prime Minister to take questions from citizens of the country like he does. He says, if I can do it, when will you submit yourselves to questions? Listen into what Rahul Gandhi said.
How many times have you seen the Prime Minister of India standing in the middle of 3,000 women like this? How many times have you seen the Prime Minister of India standing here like this, being open to any question from anybody? How many of you have had the opportunity to ask him, Mr. Prime Minister, what do you think about education? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Why doesn't the Prime Minister have the guts to come and stand in front of 3,000 women and be questioned by them?
This was the BJP's response, and let me play it out for you, viewers, to the questions that were asked by Rahul Gandhi today.
The Prime Minister are well debated. The Prime Minister meets people not only of his constituency but citizens across the country, personally one-on-one, and also through digital conferences, video conferences, which are available for public viewing. The Prime Minister has on many an occasions also spoken to members of the press, also partaken in conclaves, including the one that has been hosted by your channel. So, like I said, the delusions of Rahul Gandhi have been answered to. This is just a way that Rahul Gandhi evades question about the family package of corruption.
Let me ask our panelists tonight if there is merit in Rahul Gandhi's charge. And I want to first begin with Anand Ranganathan. Anand Ranganathan, keep it quick, but tell me, is there merit?
Yeah, sure. Yes, there is merit. I think one would have to go back to, William the Pitt the Younger to look for any Prime Minister other than Narendra Modi who's isolated himself so completely from direct questioning. There is no doubt about it. I think he interacted much more with people and journalists when he was in opposition or before 2014. After he became the Prime Minister, his interviews have been so few and far between, which is a shame, but I think people have reconciled themselves to this fact. I mean, I don't think, barring half a dozen interviews, that he has lent himself to direct questioning. Maybe this is the shape of things to come. Dr. Manmohan Singh was much more open, was much more interactive. Of course, having said that, all these people they choose, Dr. Manmohan Singh also used to carefully select the kind of editors who would, interact with him. So, all this thing goes on. Having said that, the direct interaction has been missing. So, yes, there is merit in what Rahul Gandhi says.
Okay. Ashutosh Mishra, merit says, Anand Ranganathan, I'm asking you a question. Can Rahul Gandhi deny that the Prime Minister has spoken, as Smriti Irani says, on every major issue, including Kathua, pro-Dalit laws, and several others, including the job situation, etc., and other circumstances relating to, in fact, even the Pulwama attacks, the very latest, and the attacks on Kashmiris?
Rahul Gandhi should understand the difference between a seasoned veteran and a naive greenhorn. A seasoned veteran prefers monologues to dialogues because once he is put in front of students, IIT Roorkee, everybody remembers how he mocked dyslexic people and made a fool of himself. So he prefers to do a Bharat Ki Baat Sabke Saath in London with the court poet asking all the questions instead of embarrassing himself. Because what will he tell the students when they ask him what did your mother teach? Obviously he can't say that I don't practice the good manners that he taught her.
Okay, 1 second. Let him make his point. Let him make his point.
Abusing all the
so you're
opponents every time.
So you're saying that the interactions that the Prime Minister has had are carefully cultivated interactions where he has never posed a tough question.
Even on apps. Even on apps, the workers are asked to send questions before.
Nalin Kohli,
so that a Vanakkam Puducherry
will the Prime Minister open himself to a direct question and answer session where the questions perhaps have not been vetted, etc.,
I
etc.
hope I won't be interrupted by the other panelists.
Yeah.
But I would like to really start by what Mr. Mishra said, that the Honorable Prime Minister made a fool of himself. I must say that in this country, nobody is as talented as Rahul Gandhi ji, and his numerous interactions globally, whether in the West or whether in the East, and the kind of brilliant responses that he have done that have lightened up the social media and been the butt of jokes of Indians and non-Indians globally. So I can't really say that is a standard that any person, sensible political person, and least of all the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, would ever like to emulate. So that's for the standard that Mr. Ashutosh is referring to. The second is, I'd like to point out with regard to, there are millions, the escape velocity of Jupiter.
That's fine.
For Dalits emancipation.
That's fine.
Or, it is
but
about...
no single press conference has been done in 5 years by the Prime Minister where he's taken open questions from the media.
Rahul Gandhi ji wants to study.
We can't run away from that fact. No single...
So the second point I want to make, there are millions of such examples. India's buzzing like bees.
No single presser in 5 years.
Anyway, that's all... and it's all in my head. So let's come to the next point.
And obviously, Mr.
The second
Kohli
is I have a suggestion for Rahul Gandhi ji, since he's making a suggestion to the Prime Minister.
Mr. Modi said about Shyama Prasad
Rahul ji, Priyanka ji and Robert Vadra ji. All three should sit together and explain to the world who is Sanjay Bhandari.
No, one second. That's very well. That will be done, I'm sure. Questions will be put to them. But Nalin Kohli... Okay, 1 minute, gentlemen, please.
Prime Minister won't sit in front of you, and then he'll ask his set of questions.
He's the same.
1 second, Nalin Kohli, let me ask you.
And my last point.
No, 1 minute. Before you unspool, not a single press conference in 5 years.
My last point.
Not a single press conference in 5 years. That's the charge.
My last point. When he submitted himself, a recent example, when he submitted recently to an interview to Smita Prakash of ANI, and she asked some really direct, straight questions, he answered, what is the Congress party? That's a TV journalist who put it across on TVs. What was the Congress party's response? Oh, it's some paid kind of a journalist or, somebody who's a favorite. So they run down even those who ask the tough questions of the Prime Minister. But most important, he's working. He understands the value of time.
Okay, Rajiv Desai wants to respond to you. Rajiv Desai, respond.
Answering questions is a waste of time.
Mr. Kohli, that Smita Prakash interview was a rehearsed interview. Smita Prakash interview was a rehearsed interview. He ran away from a tough questioner like Karan Thapar, and he also literally jumped out of the helicopter
to sit with Smita Prakash. I challenge you to sit with Smita Prakash and tell her, for a fine journalist that she is, and she'll put you in your place, sir.
You admit it that he is incapable of answering questions on a press conference. He hasn't had a press conference in 5 years.
Mr. Desai, it's a democracy. You can believe anything in your head.
Okay, fled.
I'm not here to come and correct it, sir.
Thapar and from NDTV.
So why doesn't he answer the question of this?
Okay, gentlemen, 1 second.
Oh yeah, so therefore, Mr.
Let me quickly go back to Anand Ranganathan to put this in perspective for us before I wind up. Yes, 1 second, gentlemen. Let's not get bogged down. We want the real picture here. Is there a touch of truth to what Rahul Gandhi is saying, or is once again
of all people? Certainly not.
1 second. Or is it once again Anand Ranganathan hyperbole? Where would you place this comment?
Yeah. No, as I said, Rahul, there is merit in what he said. And the fact of the matter is that no doubt what Mr. Kohli is saying is right. The Prime Minister has touched upon almost every issue of governance, politics, sports, interaction. But it's mostly been a one-way thing. So, he would talk about these things from his Twitter handle, or he would have half a dozen interviews in the last 5 years to talk about these issues. But as Rahul, you yourself said, Rahul Shivshankar, not Rahul Gandhi, that there has been not a single press conference that has been there that Mr. Narendra Modi has given. In fact, the one where there was direct questioning of Mr. Modi by a journalist was when he had gone to America. And there they have this tradition of, the two leaders standing and being asked questions.
Yeah.
So that was the only time I remember where journalists asked him direct questions. In India, all his interviews have been, selected, that he chooses, which organization to give an interview. And first of all, I do condemn what Mr. Desai said about Smita Prakash's interview, saying that, and the other person saying it's a court gesture and all that. That's condemnable. As journalists, everyone is entitled to ask questions.
It wasn't
and
you
are,
let's not
as
forget
readers and as viewers.
No, let's also not forget that hard
And
questions in interviews were never asked of Manmohan Singh either. Let's be honest. So there are a large number of people who will try today to draw false equivalences which don't exist. And I want to wrap this up here, viewers. We've had an absorbing debate, at least in the first half, where we've talked about a fact check on the claims that have been made by Rahul Gandhi on the IC 814 and the release of Masood Azhar. We're going to take this forward. More details coming up at 9 o'clock with Navika Kumar. Stay with us.